going to say, leave it till tomorrow. He's going to get up, and get up, and he's going to run to take his medication, because why? His health depends on it. Well, your akhirah depends on that. Because it may be that Allah takes your soul out when you sleep and doesn't return it back. And until we understand things like that, the dua before we go to sleep is something light. The dua when we wake up is something light. All those things that are around in regards to what we do is something light. We won't take them as serious as they are, because when you go back to the origin, you go back to the usul of our deen, it's weak. It's weak. We need to return back to those things. We need to return back to the usul of this deen. Yes, we hear it all the time. Yes, we hear it all the time. Hold on to the book. Hold on to the sunnah. Because that's what you need to hold on to. Because that will determine what? Utilize the door that Allah has opened, that He has made open for the individual made for us, that we can make a tawbah. So He mentions, whoever does not make the tawbah, or does not seek Allah's forgiveness, then this is a sign of his misery in his life. It's a sign in his misery in his life. Wallahi, coming from Jahiliyyah, I see it all the time. All the people used to do was complain. Why is my life like this? Why am I going like this? Because, brother, all you're doing is you're bonging weed, you're running around with the girls, you listen to music, and you don't worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So where do you think your life's going to go? If you wasn't serving the purpose that Allah said and created you for what? To do what? That I have not created mankind and jinn, except to worship Allah alone. If you're not serving that purpose, you are fooling yourself. You are fooling yourself. You're not fooling anybody else. You're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself because why? Because your purpose is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when an individual does that, and they fall into the sin, and they fall into the shortcoming, they start to commit sin upon sin upon sin. So they go to one thing, they take one thing, they take some money, they get away with it, then they take some more money. They take some more money, they take some more. Then they sit down together and they join up with the other takers of money. So you have a saying that we used to have, Jahiliyyah, birds of a feather, they all flock together. So we have in the conclusion that an individual that they say birds of a feather, they flock together. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that an individual is upon the deen of his khalil, of his close individual, his friend. That's why you see the smokers all stick together. When you're in work and at the end of work, the people come out, where all the smokers go, all together, light up their cigarette, they start smoking, they start doing what they're doing because they all come together. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this. The individual, if you want to know an individual, look towards their companions. The rapists then will be together. The stealers and the thieves will be together. The smokers of weed, the drug sellers will be all together. You can't find an individual who's righteous being with an individual who's oppressive. You will never find that. You will never find that at all. So we have displeasure, we have dislike to the ones who are oppressive. The ones who are oppressive to individuals. Especially those individuals that have committed so much fasad upon the earth, and those individuals in the name of takhfir, that they blow up people's things, blow up planes, blow up buildings, blow up establishments. What good and khair has come from that? We only intended good. What good did you intend? What good do you intend when you kill the innocent person, you cut off their head and put their head on top of body? What good do you intend? To call people to al-Islam? Call people to the deen of Islam? So you find those individuals. I will not play football with you. I will not go to the shop with you. I will not sit down with you and eat food with you. Why? Because there is something in regards to innovation that has not allowed me, or does not allow me to sit down with the likes of yourself. You've got some issues. You've got some major issues. Likewise, for the individual that he does a form of evil and you see them fall into sin, then we do not associate and we do not take them as companions. Because why? An individual is upon the way of his companion. That individual, or those people, in conclusion, are people that the shaitan has said to them, there is no form of tawbah for you. There's no way. There's no way. There's no means. Like we have the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where we mentioned that an individual, that he killed 99 men, and he came to a man and says, I killed 99 men, what do I do? The man said to him, there's no way that Allah will forgive you. There's no hope, there's no salvation. So he did what? He slaughtered him as well and killed him. Then he went down and met a man who was a alim, the difference to the abid, the one who was in regards to action, to the one who was an alim, and he came to the alim and said, I've killed 100 men. He said, leave the people where you were. Leave them and go to a different place where the believers are. And the rest of the hadith, the brothers are familiar, and we won't leave it because time is not allowing us to continue. In conclusion, and finally, that hadith for the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Innal mu'min khuliqa al-mutafatinan, that an individual is a person who is often tested. Tawaban nasiyan. That the individual, a person is one who is created. He's often tested. He's tested with things. As you leave here today and you're going on the bus and you see the women then going out, fitna, test for you. Are you going to lower your gaze, or are you going to take in some of the khabith, or the nastiness, or the najis, or the filth that you're seeing? Because it is, in reality. That's why when you see originally, and we used to see in Jahiliyyah, it used to be a problem. There was uncomfortableness. We used to see women that we knew and we grew up with. When it was time to go out and you see them wear that short skirt, they spend half the night trying to pull it down, to cover themselves, because it goes against the fitna of how they should be. Then because they're frustrated and they fall into it, they want to turn to the women that are covered and say to them, well, I could never do that. What are you covering up like that for? Aren't you hot? Forget about aren't you hot. Forget about that if they're hot. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. That you're the individual that is walking around, your beauty taken away. So you become like that precious stone. Originally it's precious and you see it and you think, subhanAllah, look at that beautiful stone. But then everybody starts to look at it, everyone sees it, everyone starts to rub it, everyone starts to touch it, and it just becomes like a little marble, a little stone that you see on the road, just an average stone. That rather we have to believe in women that they are individuals that are covered and they guard themselves, so no one knows about their beauty and nothing can be taken away from their beauty. But rather the individual is going home and the boss, he sees it, he takes a little bit himself. He takes a little bit himself, stops for a while. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. He starts to see and it starts to cause him to fall into this sin that the individual, he is often tested. What is this test? This fitna. Shaykh Fawzan mentioned that fitna. That Allah Ta'ala separates the individual, separates from mankind. You want to find a wife. So you ask questions. So what do you do in the daytime when you wake up? Well, I get up, I like to watch some TV, I like to, meet the sisters, I like to go to the shopping mall, I come home, I gotta watch EastEnders, I have something to eat, probably go to the chip shop and get some food, and then, alhamdulillah, that's the night for me, pray in between, then you'll be like, say, inshallah, I'll get back to the wali, inshallah, that day, inshallah, we'll see. The sister sits down, she has an interview with her brother. So what do you do, Akhi? What do you like to do? He says, I like to get up, I like to play my Xbox first thing in the morning. I play my Xbox. I go to work half day and I come back and then I meet with the brothers because we go out to go get something to eat, and then I come back and then I go back on roll. I play my Xbox again. Every Friday we join up a bag of brothers and we sit down together, just brothers, only Muslims, and we sit down and we play some more Xbox, and then we challenge each other, go online, and then so the sisters are praying, mashallah, and my wali will be in contact with you. Fine. So you have the individual asking tested, because why? We ask those questions to check and to sift whether this woman is good, whether this man is good. Your friends, you start to see him do a certain thing, you're like, so you call for no, don't check. Akhi, that brother's some issues with that brother. He's doing some things that are wrong. There's no harm in that. There's no harm in that, because it's a sieving process. What happens on a greater scale, Allah Ta'ala distinguishes from people, disbeliever from believer. Sahib al-Iman, Sabr al-Nifaq. The one who is true for the one who is a liar. And that is the process our individual will be sorted for that day. And the greatest sorting is that day on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah will sort between mankind and He will distinguish from the people of the hellfire and the people of Jannah. There's a lot more to mention, and unfortunately we cannot. So inshallah we'll leave it as that, because the brothers are saying that we have to come out in regards to the rectification of those that behavior, or those from making the tawbah. Then we mentioned the hadith of Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it's in that same hadith where the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that the individual, he is one who is tested, he makes tawbah, and he is one that forgets. إِذَا ذُكِرَ ذَكِرَ. He is reminded, he remembers. فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّهُ فَذَكَّرَ سَيَذَكَّرُ مَنْ يَخْشَى وَيَتَجَنَّبُهُ الْأَشْقَى. That the individual is who?